Welcome to PFF's Thursday 2-minute drill. Today we're going to talk about the NFL top 100 list again. Lamar Jackson comes in at 1, ahead of players like Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. Seth, what does he have to do to actually earn that distinction moving forward?
Exactly. We don't have him as our number one graded quarterback, or number one overall quarterback. For him to become that player, I think consistent accuracy needs to improve tremendously, actually. 36th ranked player last year, including the postseason, in terms of percentage of throws that were accurate. And, he does everything else so well. Obviously, the running game is kind of a natural part of his game. He understands how to get through progressions and find the right receiver. But when he does find the right receiver, he's got to put it in the guy's hands. And that'll change everything for him, I think.
Yeah, the accuracy, obviously his skill set sort of mitigates the accuracy a little bit, but you have to get nitpicky when you're talking about the league's MVP. And another thing is he just didn't play from behind all that much last year. The Ravens played from ahead a lot, which allows them to run more things, more suited to Jackson. So sort of seeing him more in that role, playing from behind, pressures on him to bring the team back, which you see Mahomes and Wilson do frequently, would bump him up into that tier.
Yeah, I think there's not a whole lot that Jackson can do in the sense that, he's just not as good as Russell Wilson and Mahomes. He's going to need to see them, regress substantially just to even make a play for that in our minds. But he could, obviously, those players have been stress tested. Then it's just a matter of time for the Baltimore quarterback.
Okay, so I think we're going to see a bunch of new faces this year in the NFL, especially with all the opt-outs that are coming hot and heavy this week. So who, regardless of opt-out or not, who do you think are going to be the breakout players in 2020 in the NFL?
Yeah, I'll go under radar with TJ Edwards, the linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's someone who graded really well for us throughout his 4-year career at Wisconsin, 90-plus PFF grades in each of his last 2 years. He went undrafted because he didn't test super well, not a great athlete. But then he came in last year at just over 100 snaps and put up another PFF grade in the 80s. So he's going to have opportunity in that linebacker room. There's not a lot of clarity there right now. And I think he can run with that.
For me, I'm looking at the AFC East, where we have the opt-outs in New England. We have the Buffalo team wondering is their quarterback good enough to consistently compete, and a Miami team on the second year of a rebuild. The Jets just traded their best player, got a bunch of draft picks. I think everybody's going to be sleeping on Sam Darnold. And, he hasn't been perfect, but in the second half of both of his seasons in his career, he's been an above-average quarterback. And so I'm going to go with him. And there's always one quarterback that breaks out every year. I think it's Darnold in 2020.
Yeah, I'm going to go very under the radar here like Ben and look at the guy who probably or might be replacing Patrick Chung, who opted out of New England. His name is Terrence Brooks. He played a bunch of snaps last year, and I think he'll be similar to the Patrick Chung role. Tough to replace the versatility of Patrick Chung, but actually Terrence Brooks graded better than Patrick Chung in a lot of the positions that we know Patrick Chung to play, in the box, slot, corner, stuff like that. So I think that's a guy who the Patriots can put in and hope to still get the same results they got from their pass coverage last season.
Moving from the AFC East to the AFC West, the Chiefs are the clear favorite in that division. But will any of the teams behind them make the playoffs as well, do you think?
I think they have to, in the sense that, there are just a number of bad teams in the AFC, and there's 7 teams now that get to make the playoffs. I don't know which team it's going to be, but, by process of elimination, the Las Vegas Raiders they're going through a lot of change, and they already had a season a year ago where they were lucky to even get to 7 games. The Los Angeles Chargers have a good roster, but they don't really have quarterback figured out there with Herbert and Tyrod Taylor. So I'm going to go with Denver, looking a lot like the 2018 Bears. Young quarterback, doesn't even have to play all that well. Vic Fangio running the defense. I think that's a recipe at least to make the playoffs in kind of a weak AFC.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of has to be Denver. I agree with you, Eric. When I look at the other teams, quarterback issues, definitely with the Chargers. We don't even know who's going to start there. And with Las Vegas, with the Raiders, it's like, Carr is not the worst quarterback of all time, but I think to play in the style that he plays, you need to put a lot of players around him who can play. And maybe there's just not enough. They're getting closer, but maybe just not enough. So then you go with Denver, and Locke was okay, maybe below okay last year. But if he improves even a little bit, you have such a tremendous roster around him. They went out and got a bunch of receivers. The defense is going to be really good with Vic Fangio there, like you said. So I think it's got to be Denver for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to make it 3 for 3, going with the Broncos. And I think even though we're not sure of what Drew Lock is going to be at this point, Denver's going about it the right way, seeing what they have, giving him Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler. He has the weapons. It's sort of the anti-Sam Darnold approach. And with that defense, I think they have the best shot.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.